Hello to all of our listeners, and welcome back to The Parent Solution, your one-stop shop for all things educational. I'm your host, Kimberly. Today's episode is covering the very real crisis of latency within the education world, what I have aptly called learning to forget. Now, as a parent, you want the best for your child. You want them to have a good education and learn valuable life skills, and of course, be prepared for the future. Right? Of course you do. Unfortunately, the public school system often falls short in these particular areas. Instead of teaching children the skills that they need to succeed in life, it dulls them, mostly with useless facts and easy to Google knowledge. This type of education can lead to a learning to forget mentality, where children learn rote facts for a test and promptly forget them afterwards. This is not only turning into a widespread epidemic of complete dependence upon technology, but signals a generation dangerously lacking in soft skills, or what some call life skills. And I can hear you now. But Kimberly, you're protesting. It's not school's job to teach life skills. It's the parents. You're right, and you're wrong. You're right that it is the parents' responsibilities, but you're wrong that they are the only ones responsible. Schools were established to both instill and uphold certain values within society. It used to be that those values aligned heavily with that of good citizens or factory workers. Now, I'd venture to say that these values do still exist in modern schools in some sense. But now, in today's world, schools are responsible for changing with the societies that they purport to uphold, and that means assisting parents with teaching those essential life skills. You're right that it's not school's job to teach to specific agendas, but you're wrong that schools shouldn't be upholding the values of work ethic and creativity. Because regardless of religion or gender or age or ethnicity or any other label, we're all human and we're all capable of great things should we be given the proper toolkit. Values like a strong working drive and a creative passion of some sort are global in their reach. Why do schools not instill these skills across the board? Teaching life skills is one of the most valuable things that we can do for our children and by extension for society. Because while academic knowledge is important, it is these life skills that are truly going to prepare them for success in the real world. Life skills are the everyday skills that we need to navigate life successfully, including, but not limited to, budgeting, time management, cooking, and communication. These skills are not only practical, but they also help build confidence and independence. When children learn life skills, they're better equipped to handle the challenges that come with adulthood. For example, if they know how to budget their money, they're less likely to fall into debt or financial trouble. If they know how to communicate effectively, they're more likely to have successful relationships, both personally and professionally. Teaching life skills helps children develop a sense of responsibility and accountability because when they learn how to take care of themselves and their surroundings, they learn to be responsible for their actions. This translates into other areas of their life, such as school and work, where they learn to take ownership of their successes and their failures. Another benefit of life skills is that it can help children discover their passions and their interests. If a child learns how to cook, they may discover a love for baking or for creating new recipes. If a child learns about Lego, they may one day want to turn to the drawing board for diagrams and schematics. This can lead to future career opportunities, or it can simply be a hobby that brings them joy, both of which are important. But none of these things does public school do. It's not the way the system was designed. The way that real education should be done simply cannot be done with the system that we currently have. I did another podcast, I think a few months ago. There was an absolutely fascinating conversation that I had with Tim Kelly about the practicalities and the nitty-gritty of the restructuring of education as we know it. So what am I suggesting here as a solution of sorts in order to mitigate the challenges that public school brings with it? Number one, take your child out of school and homeschool them. They learn far better that way, and they learn way more life skills. Whether it's DIY or it's with a program or a variety of programs, 10 out of 10 would recommend speaking to a trained consultant and or educator about this first. Having somebody to help guide you along the way means you can rest a little easier, because not everything has to be done the hard way. Number 2, get involved with your child's education and supplement what the system is missing. That means you have to make the time, you have to spend the money, you have to collect the resources, and you have to do the necessary things to make it happen. Your child is worth more than they're currently getting from the public education system, and it is your God-given duty as a parent or guardian to ensure that you do everything in your power to see that they have an education that fits them and not the other way around. That is all for this week's episode of The Parent Solution. If you have any comments or questions, either about this issue or others that have come up for you, you can always find me on social media. It's Star Students on Facebook and LinkedIn, or starstudents.learning on Instagram. You can also reach out through email, which is all over social media channels. Thank you, as always, so much for listening, and I'll be back next week.